in everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors. May those who died rest in peace. May those who return find their roots.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Mwah. up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is me, it is I, Ini Gabriel. Guess what? I'm sure you were following me along when I was coming for my trip. I am at the Central region. So currently I'm in the Cape Coast, okay, which is located in the Central region of Ghana. So yet again I used the same tour company I used the last time, and trust me, it was amazing. I was being given breakfast. We have someone from Brazil in our bus, we have someone from Houston, we have someone from Nigeria, Delta State to be precise. You have me. Come on, it's a beautiful experience. Yes, the last time I took you guys to the Eastern region, now I'm bringing you guys to the Central region of Ghana. Look, Ghana is beautiful, Ghana is blessed, that's all I can say. Anyways, if this is the first time you're seeing my face, my name is Ini Gabriel, aka proper product of love making. You're so much welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're seeing my face, I hope you stay tuned, I hope you subscribe, I hope you like, I hope you leave a comment at the end of this video. I love you guys, but let's continue the tour.
I warmly and officially welcome you to the historic Cape Coast Castle. My name is Richard Kwesi Obey. I will be with you for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour as your site guide. You are free to ask questions and take pictures around. But before we start walking, I will give you a brief history about the castles and transatlantic slave trade, or the triangular trade. Basically, the Europeans built about 62 forts and castles in West Africa. Out of that number, Ghana had about 40 of them. But you know, most of the forts in Ghana are no more. We have about 19 forts and 3 castles existed. First castle built in Ghana is the one at Elmina, St. George's Castle, built by the Portuguese in the year 1482, being the oldest, the largest, the biggest castle in the country, oldest European structure in entire West Africa. Elmina Castle is about 539 years old, almost 540. Second castle is in Accra, Christiansborg, Osu, built by the Danes, Denmark, 1662. This is the youngest, the third, the last castle, Cape Coast Castle, built by the British around 1665. About 356 years old. Very old, but the structure is still strong. Surprisingly, the original structure, like in here, by the British, has no cement, no iron rods. Any cement matter you see here is for recent restoration works. They used burnt bricks imported, lime powder from oyster shells with oil and sand as binder, stones, pitch pine timber with cheap African labor, if not free. They built the castle. Took the British about 50 years to construct in stages because no machinery, all done by human labor, manpower. Imagine the number of Africans who died during the construction works. Now let's talk about transatlantic slave trade, or the triangular trade. And I believe you all know why the trade was called transatlantic, because our forefathers were shipped to the New World via this Atlantic Ocean. Why triangular? The journey of the trade was like a triangle. The Europeans came from Europe to West Africa here. In one leg of the triangle came with gunpowder, mirror, and other merchandise, exchanged them for Africans, sent them to the Americas to work on plantations, took farm produce from Americas back to Europe to feed their factories. They came back again. The cycle continued, the journey continued, hence the name, the triangular trade. But let's bear in mind that the Europeans came to West Africa here, basically to search for minerals, spread Christianity, and again search for an alternative route to India to circumvent the Arabs who came to Africa first. But the Arabs mainly settled at the northern part of Africa, and they were taking minerals as well as slaves. via the Sahara Desert, sold them in Asian market. So the Europeans wanted to break the monopoly the Arabs were enjoying by finding the source of these minerals themselves. So they started to explore. Led by the Portuguese under the patronage of Prince Henry the Navigator, start from Ceuta, Senegambia, 1471, they got here. And their first point of contact was Edna or Almansa. But the Portuguese had a lot of gold from there. So they named the area El Mina, which means the mine, now corrupted El Mina. They went to the then chief of El Mina, he was called Nana Kwamina Ansa, to give them a parcel of land to build a structure to aid their business. The chief initially resisted, but upon several persuasions by the Portuguese, he gave them a parcel of land. 1482, they built El Mina Castle. Led by Christopher Columbus, who spent some couple of weeks at El Mina. They got the Americas around 1492. When they got there, they saw fertile land, good for agriculture. So the Europeans started growing plantations, large-scale farms. Labor then became a problem because the natives, they call them the Amerindians, were not effective. They were dying of tropical diseases, malnutrition, harsh treatment, and others. And as they were here, they had fair knowledge about Africans, very strong. They can withstand tropical diseases. We know how to rear animals. In short, we are naturally farmers. They said, no, Africans we know could work better than those who've engaged. So a Catholic bishop by name Bartolome de las Casas petitioned to the Spanish crown to allow importation of Africans directly to the New World. His petition was granted, and Transatlantic slave trade officially began. And the Europeans started getting our people, our ancestors, by raiding and kidnapping. For instance, they could set a village on fire, and as the people were running helter-skelter for their lives, they kidnapped the youth. You could be working on your farm with your children. You look back, and they are kidnapped away. Sometimes they deceive some of our people. For instance, let's go to our home countries. We will give you better lives. They ended up working for them. Let's go inside their ships and have fun. The locals understood, free-mindedly packed their drums and other playing instruments, went with them, and as they were enjoying, the Europeans intentionally gave them a lot of alcoholic beverages. They chained and shackled them, and the time they realized they were on the high seas. Now, there were some instances where some Africans, some chiefs, traditional rulers, prominent personalities, also brought captives and sold. But they were not just walking in streets, captured everybody they met and sold. Most of the people they brought were rather prisoners of war, people who were captured from war first. As we are all aware, there was nothing like Ghana, nor Togo, nor Burkina Faso. You know, demarcation of Africa took place around 1884, 1885, when all the European countries then, with the exception of Switzerland, met with United States of America in Germany in what they called the Berlin Conference, and demarcated, shared the continent of Africa to themselves. And sadly, Africans themselves were not part of the Berlin Conference. And we as Africans are still holding on to these boundary things the Europeans left for us. So there were tribes, kingdoms, ethnic groups. All these groups wanted to expand, wanted vast land for agriculture. Due to that, they were fighting among themselves. For instance, I'll be fighting my brother here or his ethnic group over a parcel of land. If I defeat him, instead of killing him and his people, I would rather abduct them, use some on my farm, sell some out for gunpowder, take over the land and all the natural resources that come with it. Next time, use these ammunition to fight my next opponent. And we still see these days in Africa. And due to that, the Europeans fueled tribal ethnic wars, because the more we fought, the more they had captives. And wherever they got these people, mainly from West Africa, they marched them on footpath. They walked in chains and shackles. Some of them died. Everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors. May those who died rest in peace. May those who return find their roots. May humanity never again perpetrate such injustice against humanity. We, the living, vow to uphold this. It's not powerful. By National House of Chiefs. 1992, during the Maiden Panafest, they unveiled this one. Few months after President Obama became president, they visited the castle because Michelle Obama, who is a descendant, traced her ancestral route to this castle. She believes the forefathers were taken through here. So when she had the opportunity, she visited the dungeons. In fact, they did a tour like we are doing, but it was their private tour. Even workers were not allowed to come to work on that fateful day. This is the infamous door of no return. Our forefathers, our ancestors, our fellow Africans, our brothers and sisters passed through this door and never came back. They passed through this door and we lost contact with them forever. They passed through this door and embarked on the journey we call Fihankra, meaning they left it without being saying bye-bye to us. And the moment they passed through this door, they lost everything. Lost their names, cultures, families, religion, languages. They even lost their dignities as human beings. You know, most of them died, most of them. And those who survived the dungeons were those who passed through this door, they went away. Why most of them died? Because during the wars, raidings, kidnappings, gets down, some of them died. Coming to the dungeons, they walked several kilometers. Wild animals attacked and devoured or killed some of them. Snakes, some of them fell into pits and rivers, and they were abandoned. Those became weak or sick on the way. Guards or soldiers sometimes killed them, sometimes they tied them against trees for wild animals to consume them, just to serve as a deterrent to the others. In the dungeons, as indicated, about 30% died. Some of them preferred to committing suicide, to go into unknown destinations to suffer again. So the boats, into the ships, some of them decided to jump overboard. They were chained together, about 5, 10, 15 in a chain on my ankles and ankles. If I decide to jump overboard, and if you don't take care, I'm going to drag, if not a lot of you, some of you with me, into the sea. On the ships, some of them died. They were dumping the dead bodies into the ocean. Did that, sharks, sharks were following the ships gradually, and they were feeding on the dead bodies down into the sea. Sometimes when they saw that the ships were overloaded, they just offloaded some of the captives into the ocean to prevent sinking. They were raping the beautiful ones in the dungeons. Those who were seen pregnant on the ships were also dumped into the ocean alive. Due to that, sharks were following the ships and they were feeding on the bodies down into the sea. When there were food shortages on the ships, they trapped the same sharks to feed those on board. So they were eating each other's flesh indirectly. Some researchers are saying in all, the Europeans had about 60 million enslaved Africans. And out of that 60, there's only about 10, 11, 12 million, depending on the researcher, made the journey across the Atlantic. So if 12 million made the journey, about 48 million perished, died. And 48 million people is more than the population of Ghana, because we're just around 30 to 35 million. What is that?
Door of return.
Door of return. So you can get a picture of or by the door of return. Very symbolic.